On Sunday, December the 19th, live on Main Event Television, we're going to see Jake Paul in action again, but not against the opponent that we thought. Tommy Fury is out, citing a chest infection and a broken rib, and Tyron Woodley steps in for the rematch. And I'm pleased to say that Jake Paul joins me now. Jake, what do you think has gone on here? Why is Tommy Fury not getting into the ring with you?
Man, I think the pressure got to him. You know, the build-up to this fight was a lot of eyeballs, a lot of personal trash talk, and that pressure can easily crack somebody. I've fought with a broken nose. I've fought sick. The last fight, I had a hyperextended elbow. So there's really no excuse when you sign the dotted line to not get into the ring, other than if you're just scared. So that's what I think it is, 100%.
What's been the process? What have you heard over the last few days about what has happened? A chest infection, they're saying, and also a broken rib now.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, all of a sudden you have a broken rib and a chest infection. You know, something about it's weird. They have a shady family. You know, the dad was in prison for 11 years. I don't trust anything that they say or do, to be honest. So I'm not looking too much into it. I think he's just scared. And now Tyron Woodley stepping up to the plate. I have another job to do December 19th, and I'm going to get it done.
Any chance that Tommy Fury gets another chance down the line?
I mean, I don't know. Part of me wants to just be cynical and not give him this opportunity. This was the biggest payday he had, the biggest opportunity of his career. And who knows what's going to happen if I do give him the opportunity again. He's going to make up other excuses. He'll have a chest infection all of a sudden, and the fight may never happen. So to me, it's just annoying. And I don't have time for BS in this business. That's why I was like, I'll fight anybody, put them in there. The event must go on. The undercard fighters need to get paid. The fans need a fight. So we're doing this regardless of Tommy or not.
How do you think this will be received by Tommy's family? Obviously, his brother is the heavyweight champion of the world. His dad, you've already mentioned what he's like. How do you think they feel about him pulling out?
I don't think they care. You know, Tyson Fury, whatever his name is, has pulled out of 5 fights. So the family has a track record of this. The dad has had a very unsuccessful boxing career. He's been knocked out all the time. You know, so I feel like they don't really care. And I feel like they were part of the reason he pulled out, maybe, and they didn't want him to get embarrassed, or maybe he was looking bad in camp. Who knows? I'm just speculating, obviously, but I just don't trust them. Why should we?
Fascinating situation now. You're going to fight against a man who has "I love Jake Paul" tattooed on himself.
Yes, he's finally gotten the rematch. He does have "I love Jake Paul" tattooed, and I told him if he got the tattoo, then we would do the rematch. And here we are. This is still a massive fight. Tyron Woodley, in my opinion, is a lot tougher of an opponent than Tommy. He's got more experience, more rounds. He's a harder hitter, just a tougher guy in general. You know, when you see Tommy with his hair gelled back like that, you don't initially think, wow, this guy is really tough. So Tyron, it's still a massive fight. I'm excited to show people that I've gotten better since the last fight. I've sparred almost 200 rounds, made a lot of different improvements, and I'm going to go out there and try to get the KO.
How are you going to going into a fight where there's not that level of animosity? First time around against Woodley there was, but this time he's stepping in at late notice and essentially saving the show. Do you have to get yourself up and start to hate him again?
Not really. You know, for me, I don't fight with emotions, and it's just a job at the end of the day, and the goal remains the same, and that's to win. You know, we changed the game plan. We were obviously preparing for Tommy. We had a game plan to beat him, but now the game plan shifts back to Tyron to make adjustments. And I'm going to go in there and show people, you know, that I will leave no doubt.
And you've left a lot on the plate for Tyron Woodley, a $500,000 reward if he can knock you out. What's the idea behind that?
You know, there's rumors going around that my fights aren't real, or that there's stuff in the contract that basically says my opponent can't knock me out. Some people made these rumors up, which they're completely false, completely untrue, and it's illegal. It's illegal to like rig a fight like that or to change the outcome of a fight. I would be in jail if that were the case. So we wanted to nip the rumors in the butt by giving Tyron Woodley contractually a $500,000 bonus if he can knock me out, because all my fights are real. And I can't stress it enough. And so now we're going to incentivize my opponents in the future to knock me out.
Speaking of rumours, Tyson and Tommy Fury's dad has now accused you of being a drug cheat as well. How do you respond to that?
Again, it's a delusional family. The guy spent 11 years in prison, recently was making misogynistic comments. He's all over the place. There's drug tests for this fight, multiple drug tests for this fight, and I've never denied a drug test. You know, if anything, take a picture of me with my shirt off and take a picture with Tommy with his shirt off. You know, he's the one who looks like he's using some sort of performance enhancement. I'm a clean fighter, always have been, always will be, and there's multiple drug tests to prove it.
Here in Australia, your fights have been received with a great deal of popularity. There's good numbers on all of these shows. Does it surprise you, the fan base that you have for your boxing here in Australia?
Man, I think it's awesome. You know, it definitely is a little surprising, and the Australian fan base is massive. So shout out to everybody in the Aussie. I'm pronouncing it wrong. Aussie. But we love you guys. And, you know, Australia has some amazing fighters. George Kambosos, who just won. Liam Perro is on the undercard, the young undefeated prodigy. So he has a tough fight against him, and just, you know, excited to represent, you know, and put on for the Australian fans.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about both of those fighters. Liam Perro, what a great opportunity for him against Yomar Alamo on this undercard. What do you know about Liam Perro? Have you had the opportunity to see him fight? Because it seems that you and your management handpicked him.
Yeah, no, exciting fighter. Undefeated. Obviously, he's been sparring with, you know, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. So when you're sparring with those high level of guys, you're going to turn into a diamond, a sharp diamond. That's why, you know, we're excited to see what he's got. This is going to be a good fight. You know, he's going up against Yomar Alamo, who's also undefeated from Puerto Rico. So the stakes are high, and that's what we want to do, is put amazing fighters on the map. And again, the Australian fighters have some real talent, and it's an exciting time for Australian boxing.
Yeah, and you mentioned that talent and the tenacity of the Aussies as well in your tweet about George Kambosos. Obviously, you were watching that fight live and then had the opportunity to speak with George on a FaceTime later. What was said between the pair of you that seems like you've become good mates?
Yeah, man, he is a superstar, you know, seemingly overnight. And he put on an incredible fight. And I was just giving him props and mad respect when we FaceTimed. And, you know, I was talking about maybe coming down to Australia next year. So I've always wanted to visit and sightsee. I think it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. So might come down there next year. And he was saying we could hang out, you know, train, whatever it is that we want to do.
Well, if you're going to come, you may as well have a fight out here, mightn't you?
Maybe. Maybe. Might be the move.
Okay, well, tell us about what's going to happen in your fight. Your rematch now with Tyron Woodley on December the 19th on Main Event. What should we expect?
Expect a different fighter, a different Jake Paul. You know, I'm sharper, way more in condition, and made a lot of adjustments on all aspects of my game. So just expect me to be super sharp and get the job done. I want an electric knockout, highlight reel knockout. That's what I'm going for.
All right. Well, we really look forward to seeing you in action again. And thanks so much for your time, Jake.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys for having me. Peace out, Australia.